Hey everybody, welcome to 40 Grit's Tabletop Adventures. I am your host, 40 Grit, and this is Amateur Crit, where we take an unexperienced player and we level them up from level 1 all the way to level 20. This is a specialist show, though, because this player, feeling rather rambunctious, has decided to go with a new homebrew system known as Gestalt. Gestalt is a combination character class, where this character, I believe the player likes to be known as Voodoo Child, goes through two classes identically at the same time. That's every time they level, they will take a level in each class. The restrictions on the class are they have to take the lowest hit die for whatever class is the lowest hit die. They only get one ability modifier for the 4th, 8th levels and so. And they also are unable to take any multi-class features, so they can't take a class in Monk, in, Wizard or anything like that to offset their character. So he is running just a straight Ranger/Rogue. He's starting all the way at the base level 1. The only other side effect to this system is that he needs double the XP. So instead of 300, he's going to require himself to get 600 just to make it to level 2. So it's going to be a long, grueling grind. Let's meet the player. Voodoo, how you doing? He's got some energy to him. Alright, Voodoo, why don't you start off by telling the listeners a little bit about yourself and what drew you to play Dungeons & Dragons, even though right now you're in a situation where there is nobody around you that plays, so we're doing if it sounds a little weird, it's because he's coming in over the phone, and we're doing a complete audio-based game. We both have identical boards set up in front of us for battle maps, synchronized tokens, so basically I'm going to tell him where an enemy is, he's going to tell me where he moves, so if his character moves 6 steps forward, he'll tell me he goes to E4, basically. So the battle maps are going to be a little restricted because we have to work within the confines of a chessboard. So go ahead, Voodoo.
What drew me to D&D was that it helps me with my dieting. It helps me with my social skills, and also I like role playing, and I do with characters. I like hanging out. So it just gives me a chance to work all of that out in one little game.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about tabletopping myself, is the factor that it's more than just a video game where you hit the A button repeatedly. There's a thought process, and as a GM, I even push myself even farther than the other players, because I have to memorize all the monster abilities and stats and come up with storylines and character developments. But if you're ready, we can go ahead and start session 1.
Yeah.
Alright, so let's get to the game. Your tune is called Voodoo Child as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a second and go ahead and define your tune for the listeners, and that way they can get a feel for who you are.
My character is a very shy person, kind of sticks to themselves, but also is not afraid to go out and adventure, meet new people. She takes her time getting to know the person before showing the true colors.
Okay, and you say it's a female, so you are playing gender swap, which I'm perfectly fine with. What does your character look like?
She is 4'6".
4'6"?
Yes.
Damn, that's tiny.
Yeah, well, she's about...
My kid's 4'2".
Huh?
My kid's 4'2". He's 8.
She is muscular and with copper hair and gray skin tone.
And your character's a wood elf, correct?
Yes.
That's very interesting. And wood elf with red hair. That's kind of breaking the mold. I kind of like it. What about any distinct facial features or clothing attire that stands your character apart in a crowd?
No, I'm basically sticks to herself, and then she needs to talk to someone in order to get somewhere or ask for directions. She can normally figure out where to go just by the landmark and all that. Okay. Your character is a resident of Darone City. That's Darone. Darone. Nice.
Your character has been living on the streets as an urchin for the last couple of years of her life. A lot of her original backstory is left blank, so what that falls under is a case of amnesia. Basically, your character woke up one day on the outskirts of the city, no real understanding, no money in her pockets or anything like that, so she just wanders into the city and starts living as an urchin. You did take the urchin background, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you have a pet animal with you?
It says a pet rat.
Yes, but you can also trade that for any type of trainable tiny creature.
Okay.
It can be a well-trained cat. It can be a dog, like a small breed dog, like a Shih Tzu or a Terrier. It could be some type of iguana. It's anything. The way I play it is it's anything that really connects with you as a person.
Oh, okay.
This is not a familiar. It's just a well-trained creature.
Oh, okay. Can I do wolf one day?
Wolf is too big. As a ranger, when you get to a certain level and you pick an archetype, there is a Beastmaster archetype you could do that would allow you to pick a creature like that.
Oh, okay.
I think that's level 3. Right now, you're starting at the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, I was just thinking that I could trade it right off the bat, that's why. But I'll wait.
Okay, your character has been living hand to mouth, literally begging, stealing what coins she can, working whatever side jobs can keep her fed, until one day she catches the attention of a very surly looking man who catches her pickpocketing. Through a series of very tense meetings, you come to understand that this man by the name of Elvis Jovi is an ex-assassin whose job is to find promising talent amongst the city of Daron, looking for future members of the guild. However, the guild, being very secretive and very protective, they work very hard to keep their membership elite. So what you're going to have to do is prove yourself.
Okay.
Now, they have enticed you with free room and board at the Sunder Sky Inn. This is a very low-polished inn, but basically you have a room here. It's one of the first times you've ever had 4 walls and a bed to call your own. It has a lock and key. However, you very easily could pick the lock with even your skills, so you know it's no safety whatsoever. And you know that there are other people inside the inn that are doing the same thing you are doing. They're initiating through the guild. This is kind of like a guild safe house. Sometimes you see very powerful, very shadowy figures enter the inn and disappear through a back room, where you don't see them again. So you have a feeling there's more to this inn than meets the eye. Transformers? So after a few days of rest, gaining your strength, eating some solid meals, and basically gathering your wits about you, you have a meeting with Elvis down in the hall in an hour. What would you like to do before you go meet with him?
See if I can strike up a conversation to get a better description of his personality.
With who? Right now you're in your room. I'm sorry, I didn't specify that. You're sitting in your room. You've just put on your clothes for the morning, and you have an hour to kill until your meeting with Elvis.
I would like to see if there's any work in the guild house so I can earn coins.
Well, that's your job. Like, Elvis will be giving you your work orders, basically.
Oh, okay.
I'm just trying to see if you want to explore the inn or if you want to go out and buy something. You have an hour. You do have a small bit of coin to your name. Let me check something here. Hold on. You have
10 gold pieces.
No.
That's what it said in the action.
I know, but this is different. This is story based. You have 10 plus 13, so you have 23 gold coins to your name.
Okay.
Sorry, not gold. Sorry, you have 10 gold pieces and 23 silver.
Oh, okay.
So that would translate out into, for every 10 silver is a gold. So you technically have 12 gold and 3 silver, which is not bad for you. You're used to living on less. You're used to dealing with coppers and silver and the occasional gold piece, which would net you a fine meal or even a night's rest during a winter storm.
Okay.
But because you haven't had to spend money on food or lodging, you've actually been able to pocket some coin recently. So is there anything you would like to do to prepare before the meeting?
I'm gonna go see if I can go buy some small health potions.
Ooh, big spender. Let me pull up my manual here. Because the way health potions work in this system is they actually are brewed. So a common health potion is going to run you around 50 gold.
Then I'll just go back to the guild and see if he's ready for me.
Okay. Well, you technically never left.
Oh, okay. So I just stay there waiting for my meeting, seeing whatever's there to read.
What's your intelligence score?
8+1.
No, that's your modifier. What's your score?
Oh, 13.
13. So you can understand some complex material, give or take. However, there's not a lot of reading material in an inn of this stature.
Okay.
What is offered to you when you get down to the common room is a watered down glass of ale and some breakfast food, basically, like biscuits with some sausages and that kind of thing.
Alright.
Yep. During your meal, you see Elvis come in, and you are taken back for a second at how looming he is. Almost 6 feet tall. You get a feeling he like towers over you, and his dark cloak billows and has this almost like shifting rainbow effect as he walks. Obviously indicating it's enchanted. He would be a very imposing and dashing figure if it wasn't for the massive scars of like claw marks that stretch all along down the left side of his face, breaking up what would probably be a pretty decent beard into this jagged tufts of hair, basically. His eyes are kind of dead as he pulls out a flask and takes a long swig at it, and he just kind of heavily sits in the chair across the table from you.
I say hello to Elvis. I say, hello, sir.
Good morning, Voodoo.
What can I do for you, sir?
It's not what you can do for me, Voodoo. It's what you can do for the guild.
I'm here to serve.
We know. The concept that we would need you for anything is laughable at this current point in your training. So I hope you understand you'll be getting some grunt work. Clearing out small contracts, possibly running messages, just little things here and there that, though may seem unimportant to you, or to even some of the people you're working for, are speaking volumes for what you can offer the guild.
That is perfectly fine.
Your first mission is we need you to go down into the sewers. There has been some conflict with some workers down there. People saying they're hearing skittering sounds, and a few people have gone missing here and there, and we found the remains of bodies that are burned and slashed. Now, we know that you probably don't have it in you to destroy or to rid the sewers of what is plaguing them. However, we need information. So what we would like you to do is go down there, sniff around, see if you can get a feeling for what is causing these problems, what is ailing these workers. If you have the initiative, you could take care of the problem yourself if you feel it's within your stance, but for the most part, we just need the information.
Alright, I am good to go.
Oh, really? You're good to go then. Okay. Where are you going?
To the sewers. Just give me the directions, and I'll head on my way.
He kind of fixes you with this kind of like dead glare, and he just says, "First lesson, Voodoo child. Do not assume the information you're being given. Find out the information. Wait patiently for the information. Because information is the lifeblood of our organization. An assassin does not know when to strike unless they gather every ounce of information before throwing the blade or slipping the poison. The wrong bit of information can lead to the death of you, your crew, or your entire guild."
Yes, sir.
He takes a small piece of parchment out and slides it across the table. On it you see an address for a location that you recognize from your urchin days as being a kind of an abandoned sewer entrance. Most of the main sewer entrances are actually not so much as guarded as they are spelled to inform people if someone passes through or goes around them, but some of them left unused and abandoned or forgotten or left relatively safe for homeless people or vagrants such as yourself to seek shelter during poor weather.
Okay.
He gets up, he walks over to the bar, and talks quietly with the gray-haired woman behind him, leading you to your work.
I'm going to leave and then move stealthily back to the sewer.
You're going to move stealthily?
I'm just going to walk normally.
I mean, you could roll stealth if you really want to, but I mean, that in itself might be a little awkward.
Yeah, I thought about it. I'm just going to walk normally to the sewer system.
You move your way through the city, the bustle, the crowds, the morning air is crisp with the coming weather of fall, and there's a moment where you feel relatively safe because of the fact that you know that this will be one of the first winters where you don't have to shelter amongst the sewer rats or beg for lodging in hay barns because of winter storms coming to the city. You see a couple of city guards. They don't pay you much mind, basically just keeping a small eye on you as you walk through the crowds, expecting you to pickpocket or something of that nature, but you being on a mission know not to do that this current time. Less attention the better. You make your way down to the inner cities, down a few side streets, where you come to an alleyway where it ends with a large open hole leading down into the ground, lined with brick and covered in moss and basically like a film, a mucus-like substance. You recognize this as one of the sewer entrances he spoke of.
Alright, I'll ready my bow just in case something happens.
Okay. As you start taking your bowstring out of your pocket to keep it safe from the wet air and things like that, stringing it, go ahead and roll me perception.
13 total.
13 total, but what's your additive? What'd you roll?
I rolled the 11 plus 2.
Plus 2, and you're proficient in proficiency, aren't you? Or you're proficient in perception, right?
Yes.
So you're going to add your wisdom and your proficiency, which is why I'm checking. I want to make sure you're doing this right.
Oh, I have a 0, so it's going to be 2 either way.
Your wisdom is a 0?
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be interesting. You hear the sounds of voices coming nearer to you.
Alright.
What do you do?
I'm going to do a high check just to be safe.
Okay. That's actually a stealth check in this edition, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. 11, 15 total. I rolled a 9 plus 4 for my dex and then 2 for my proficiency.
That's really good. 4 for, yeah, okay. So you got a total of 19?
Yeah.
Okay. So you take a second and you look around knowing there's not a lot of places to hide, but then you remember the scaffolding above your head of one of the overhanging roofs. Utilizing a series of quick jumps and scurrying motions, you manage to grab a windowsill and pull yourself up and basically shield yourself from any prying eyes for the most part. I mean, you don't have a lot of places to hide in this alleyway, but you find a rather secluded spot along this windowsill and behind some brickwork. And what you see is a group of boys enter the alleyway behind you. One of them, a tall, lean, half-orc male with very wicked-looking tusk and a pale green skin and rippling muscles, comes in. He's sneering and he's looking around and trying to find and focus on what he's searching for. The other boys, 3 human males, obviously younger than you, whipcord thin with hunger, but this fierceness in their eyes, and all of them are armed with knives. One of the boys looks at the orc and goes, "Fidus, I know I saw her come in here. She was just here a second ago." "She's here. I know the smell of that wood bitch anywhere. Voodoo, come out, wherever you are." He walks over and kicks a trash can over actually it's more of a barrel. The wood of it, almost splintering with the force of his kick as it skitters across the alleyway, getting close to the sewer edge. "You think you're something, don't you, girl? Think you're something now that you're in the inn, now that you have attention. But I tell you this, I'm still going to take that pound of flesh from your shoulders. You are still going to pay for what you did to me." As he talks, you get this memory, this flashback of this moment when you first entered the city, when before you knew the pecking order, you knew the way around the ropes of where to talk and who to talk to. Even though you tend to stay quiet and sheltered, there was a moment where you saw this half-orc brute stealing food from the mouths of children, basically. Even though against your better judgment, you stood up, you put him in his place with not only scolding words, but actually a pretty resounding crack over the head with a wooden staff. This is your arch-nemesis. You know him as Fidus Manya. Do you do anything, or do you stay silent?
I stay silent and go investigate the...
Well, if you move, you break your stealth. They're still down there. I'm asking, do you do anything about them being there, or do you wait?
I'll wait until they leave.
Okay. They search around a little bit more, never thinking to look up, because who looks up? And, because the 19's a pretty good stealth, so I'm basically just, the way you win is they don't ever look up. Being the brutish fools they are, they turn and they stomp out of the alleyway. As Fidus is about to leave, he turns and he looks over his shoulder, and very, very subtly, you hear the growl of his voice come across the air. "I'm gonna find you, bitch. I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna make you pay." And he leaves.
Alright.
I told you I had plans for you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I killed him, sorry.
Since I have 9 health, I'm gonna wait until I level up to face my enemy.
Mm-hmm. Well, as you get down, you take a second, you look at the barrel, and you realize that his half-orc strength is his greatest power. It's the reason why, even to this day, you've hidden instead of confronting him, because you know that until you grow stronger, until you grow smarter, one hit, and he would have you would be at his mercy.
Yeah.
But the coast is clear. You can climb down and go along with your mission.
I'll climb and continue forward silently.
Like, you want to roll stealth, or you just want to be quiet?
I just want to be quiet.
Okay. You're a wood elf, so you do have dark vision.
Oh, that was night vision.
Huh?
I thought it was low light vision.
In 5th edition, it's just all classified as dark vision. In dim light, you see as if it's bright light, and in no light, you see as if it's a dim light, but with the absence of color.
The diligent bird flies out for the summer. Can't it be the same for me? To call out to fate, the silence will create and whisk your mood